Hello, and welcome to another episode of Troubleshooting Life with Chad Broshears with Go Figure Holistic Personal Training and Ascending to Total Maturity. And what I want to talk about today is your why. Now, there's a lot of whys that we have depending on the category we're talking about. So, whatever area it is that you want to work on, there's a why associated with that. But there's a big why, which is your life purpose why, and then there's little whys, which is like, why do you get out of bed to do certain things? Why is it that this task is important and other tasks aren't important? How do you decipher and create importancy or urgency for tasks? To create more of a bigger why. You'll notice that your why will fuel your result. So if your why is small, like, why is because I just like to see that smile on that person's face. Well, now it's a matter of how significant that person is for you. And if it's really that important, your why will get you out of bed to do it. So, with this, let's talk about a why dealing with exercise. So, what's your why to exercise? Now, because my earlier development in this direction was a holistic personal trainer, and this is a regular conversation I had with people. So let's discuss it. How it worked for me is people would come to me and say, I want to lose weight. And I'm like, wonderful. How much weight would you like to lose? What do you know about losing weight? And then after I find out what they know, ask them why. Why do you want to lose weight? What does it mean to you to be where you are? Why do you feel that where you are is not okay? Is this driven by somebody else's influence in your life? Which I can guarantee you every time it has been. Even if they sit there and think, no, this is all about me. Well, who are you measuring yourself against? There's got to be somebody, something that has inspired you to want that. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. It's important to know the why, because that will fuel the result. So if your why is something vague, like I saw this this guy's midsection in a magazine, and man, I really thought that that's the kind of abs that I would want. Well, I ask again, why? Usually it's directed towards finding a suitable mate or keeping the right person in your life, or keeping that person you think is the right person in your life. Well, that why is a shallow why. Now, it's not a shallow why like if you're going through it, it's not something you want to hear. Oh, it's a shallow why. It's a shallow why in the sense that it'll cost you. It'll cost you a great deal because you're already in an unbalanced relationship and that person doesn't recognize who you are, nor do you recognize who that person is. So your why is diluted by wanting somebody else's approval. Your why has got to be bigger than you, but not based off of somebody else's approval. Somebody else's approval makes a very unhealthy relationship, because you'll spend the rest of your life, you form that relationship with that person. So you train them that the way to interact with you is that you're seeking approval and they have to validate you. And even if they don't want to do it, they become habit formed and resisting validating you. They're still developing a habit. In science, in neuroscience, this is called neuroplasticity. It's also the same thing. They call it that and reference it in psychology. Neuroplasticity simply means the way that you think regularly is the way you create the neural pathways in your brain to cause you to habit form think that way. So when you're thinking about nothing, you're just sitting there in a meditative state, it's the thought that introduces itself into the room of thoughts. It comes in and says, hey, guess what? Because you have a habit of it. And most people don't even recognize, but yet they'll experience it, that their habit is as strong as smoking, or like trying to quit smoking. You have to think that way because you don't know any other option. So your why is addressable. And if you address it and find the why that fits you best, then we can develop a habit for that why to work. Which means that when you wake up, you won't wake up going, man, I've got some hard work ahead of me today. I've got to run X amount of miles. I've got to eat these foods. Well, anytime the word hard occurs in a conversation towards effort, there is resistance. You can find out from anyone, like you can watch interviews with any of the successful people that are out there, and most of them are going to say that it was not hard work, it was work. They may say it was hard work in a sense that they want you to get that it takes something, But to them, it didn't occur to be hard work. It occurred to be the task needed to be done, that must be done to achieve their goals. Now, they may have lost sleep and all of this, but if it were truly occurring to be hard work for them, they would be completely depleted. There would be nothing left. They would be just shells of people. Like, just think about activities that you do now versus activities you used to do. And this could be in any category. You choose it. But when you first tried it out, your excitement may have made it easy to do. And by the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, how much did I get done? I didn't do it very effectively, but my God, that was good. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I want to do it again. Versus, I don't want to frickin' do this. As often as you think, I don't want to frickin' do this, you're going to make it hard. So whenever I discover a why with somebody, I discover what that thing is that's going to motivate them far beyond the relationship that that person is creating with me at that moment. When they walk away, they've got a significant why. So what is your why? Pick any category. I just chose today's category to be exercise because most people resist exercise. And I know a lot of whys why people resist exercise. But the why to do an exercise versus the why to not do it. Most people have a background experience of it not being easy. Well, it wasn't easy because you weren't doing it right. Things were not lined up. That's why I'm holistic versus just a personal trainer. If you're lined up, so that means you've got adequate rest, the nutritional facets are taken care of, the mindset is associated with success, which does not mean you've got to eat, breathe, and sleep like this crazy regimen that you feel is crazy. You'll feel it to be just the task to do. So I assess those things, line them up, and then it turns into something like, I didn't know it was this easy. I feel like I'm getting such better workouts because of the way that I view the workout versus the way that I used to view it. Because the way I used to view it was you had to not eat certain things. You had to use these specific machines. You had to do cardio for God knows how long. There's all kinds of things that just are not physiologically sound. They're not psychologically or emotionally sound because there's a lot more to you than just some simplistic, this is the program, go sit down, you're going to sit on this machine, move this pin, change this weight. No, guys, let's line it up. The first steps of lining it up is to understand your whys. Why the hell are you doing it? And then we'll figure out what you want to do after you've reestablished your why. But I ask you what you want to do first. Then I ask you your why. Then we discover what your why really is. And then we assign a new why if needed that is more suiting for you to get the results. Because that's a fire that you almost can't put out once you get the real why. Like, why do it for you, not why do it for other people. You can't really distinguishingly separate the other people and you. But that's a video for later. Because everything we do involves other people. But let's make it so that you're not doing it to be validated by other people. Let's do it so that you get to experience something that you may have not experienced before, which is the value for life, not the value of walking around trying to prove yourself to everybody. That is a life of servitude. I choose not to be in a life of servitude. I choose to be in a life of value, abundance, love, joy, virtue, all of these different wonderful things. That's my choice. You don't have to have it, but I promise you that it makes a peaceful night's sleep and it makes an exciting morning's wake up. It makes beauty everywhere I go. Even when people are just plain jerks, I still experience it as joy. So this is a why conversation. I'm looking forward to any comments. So thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch this video. I am grateful. Now, let's go out there and figure out your why already. All right, guys, take it easy. Again, it's Chad Broshears with Go Figure Holistic Personal Training and Ascending to Total Maturity. Thank you for your time, and figure out your frickin' why, will you?